All right, everybody, I do have another update for you guys today. And I've said this before in the past that there are three franchises that I do like to, kind of rotate through. We have DC, mainly Batman stuff. I like to go through Star Wars and Indiana Jones. These are my three all-time favorite franchises. And at the top of the list, I would have to put Indiana Jones. And probably Star Wars second and DC third. And I know that that's probably going to upset a lot of people, but it's just a reality that the DC universe is the easiest to talk about. But I am going to start getting into the other two franchises as well. Now, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up. We're going to look at an article today that is a bombshell when it comes to Star Wars. We all know that Star Wars, since Disney has taken it over, has been very rocky, and I would love to talk about this more and in depth, and I'm not going to do that in this video because I want to focus on this one story. And what's happened is their materials have been hit and miss. I've loved The Mandalorian. I did not like the Boba Fett show that they did, the Book of Fett. The Andor show was good, but if you think about it post, it was kind of forgettable. And then you have, just some of the garbage that has been put out there. The other stuff, like the Obi-Wan series, I had high hopes for that. There's like a Kai Patterson cut out there that people can access if they have Disney Plus that is way better than what Disney released. It's actually pretty phenomenal. But I digress. I'm going to start covering more of the Star Wars stuff. Now, one of the things I was looking forward to was Patty Jenkins doing this Rogue One movie, but the movie has been shelved. And same with Kevin Feige's planned movie as well. It looks like you're going to find... Let's go through this article. So it says Star Wars Shakeup. Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins movies are shelved. Taika Waititi is looking to star in his own film. With what he did with Thor, I don't know how he has a career, but that's just me. I don't like the goofy stuff, and I really hope they're not going to turn Star Wars goofy. I think the more serious stuff, Andor was good because it was serious. Rogue One was great because it was serious. I don't see him doing a serious movie. But they tell us that when Jon Favreau stepped out onto the red carpet for the Season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian on February 28th, the Disney Plus show's creator and executive producer was feeling nostalgic. It's been a while since we've all been together here like this, Favreau told Variety, evoking the November 19th premiere for the launch of the show and of Disney Plus itself. It was before the first episode aired. At that time, The Mandalorian was a scrappy land speeder in the vast Star Wars galaxy, nipping at the heels of The Rise of Skywalker, the culminating feature film from director J.J. Abrams that was expected just a month later to obliterate the box office like a cinematic Death Star. Instead, The Mandalorian became a global sensation thanks to the incandescent cuteness of Baby Yoda, blasting Disney Plus into the light speed with 26.5 million subscribers in its first 6 weeks. The Rise of Skywalker, on the other hand, imploded in spectacular fashion. The film earned just half the grosses of 2015's The Force Awakens, and the widespread scorn of fans and Star Wars movie development has been stuck in the bogs of Dagobah ever since. Whereas Disney Plus boasts a robust fleet of live-action Star Wars series, 3 streamed in 2022 alone. Not a single Star Wars movie has received a green light, let alone gone into production. The earliest a film is scheduled to debut in theaters is December 2025, 6 years after The Rise of Skywalker. Now, this is to be expected. Disney does not know how to handle these properties. And, they had The Force Awakens, which had great potential, and then you had The Last Jedi, which I think is the worst Star Wars anything ever released. And then we move into The Rise of Skywalker, which did the best it could with what it had, but it still missed a lot of beats. And Disney has just been afraid to do another Star Wars movie. Now, there are rumors that the next Star Wars film is actually going to star Rey. She's going to be coming back and continuing on the franchise, which I think is a mistake. I'd like to see another time period, maybe something from a long time ago. And I know they're doing book series and comic series. I'm not going to be covering that stuff. I'm going to stick mainly to the live action stuff. But they don't know how to handle this. I personally would like to see a Solo too and see where that story goes. We'd get to see Maul again on the big screen in a big starring role. Like, there's a lot they could do with Solo. They're just afraid to. And the reason Solo didn't do well was because The Rise of Skywalker, or because of The Last Jedi. People like me just weren't going to go see it. And the only reason I went and saw it was because there was some making a feature before the show got released that actually looked really good, and I went and saw it and actually loved it. I really like Solo quite a bit. They tell us it's not for wanting or trying. In December 2020, Lucasfilm Chief Kathleen Kennedy announced that Wonder Woman Helmer, Patty Jenkins, would direct the next Star Wars movie, the one-off adventure Rogue Squadron. Oh, I would have loved to see that. But in September 2022, Disney pulled the title from its scheduled December 2023 release, and sources with knowledge of the production say it is no longer in active development at the studio. A rep for Lucasfilm did not respond to a request for comment. In December, Jenkins said in a statement that she was still developing Rogue Squadron, but I don't know if it will happen or not. Meanwhile, Variety has learned that a possible Star Wars feature produced by Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige is also no longer in active development at Lucasfilm, just the same as her film. When news of Feige's involvement with Star Wars film broke in September of 2019, it churned up fan speculation, since widely debunked that he was in line to replace Kennedy as the leader of Lucasfilm. The movie remained alive as recently as May of 2022 when screenwriter Michael Waldron, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, told Variety that he'd started working on a Star Wars screenplay for Feige. I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything, Waldron said. 5 months later, Feige hired Waldron to write the script for 2026's Avengers Secret Wars, the Endgame-style culmination of Marvel Studios' multiverse saga. Between that project and the 19 other titles and counting that Marvel has announced for theaters and streaming in the next 4 years, Feige's responsibilities to the MCU are keeping him far, far away from Star Wars for much of the decade. As for Rian Johnson, the in-demand filmmaker has made no secret that he still wants to make his Star Wars movies. No freaking way. I hope he stays far away. He first announced in 2017 before the recent film The Last Jedi, and Kennedy has been clear that Lucasfilm still wants him too. They need to stay away from him. He is the one that caused the massive downfall. But Johnson's immediate priorities, continuing his Benoit Blanc films with Daniel Craig for Netflix and season 2 of his hit Peacock series Poker Face with Natasha Lyonne, will keep him occupied for the foreseeable future. So what Star Wars movie could slot into that open December 2025 release date? Sources say Thor Love and Thunder filmmaker Taika Waititi continues to work on his possible Star Wars feature, and he would most likely have a part in it as well, similar in prominence to his standout roles in imaginary Adolf Hitler and his Oscar-winning 2019 feature, Jojo Rabbit. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's actually pretty freaking good. And although Lucasfilm has yet to officially confirm it, sources say the studio is committed to a Star Wars movie from director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. I'm not even sure who that is. A 2-time Oscar-winning documentarian, Saving Face, A Girl in the River, The Price of Forgiveness, who made her live-action narrative debut with 2 episodes of 2022's Miss Marvel for Disney+, which I never watched that. Damon Lindelof. He's another one I can't stand. And Justin Gibson were attached in October to write the script for the movie. Whether one of those films or some as yet unannounced project lands at the front of the line, has been a fiercely guarded secret at Lucasfilm. But sources say the studio will begin to unveil its plans for the future of Star Wars cinema at the Star Wars Celebration Convention in London the week of April 7th. So we just have exactly a month from today. That announcement, however, will compete with expected updates for at least 4 Disney Plus series, including the final season of the critically acclaimed Andor, new shows from Leslie Headland, The Acolyte, and John Watts' Skeleton Crew, and the first major push for Ahsoka, a spin-off of The Mandalorian in the animated series The Clone Wars, starring Rosario Dawson, that aims to debut this summer. And I am looking forward to Ahsoka. So for now, Lucasfilm's message to Star Wars movie fans: patience you must have. All right, so that's a lot to pack in. It looks like the movie universe is still going to be held off for quite a while. I will start covering the Star Wars stuff as new information gets released. I love to bring you guys all the information for the DC stuff, and I would love to do this on a regular basis with Star Wars and Indiana Jones as well. If my channel continues to grow and I can do this more and more, then if I'm supported, then I will certainly do that. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up.